Hello class, this is Mr. McAllen, and I'm going to be putting together some videos to help you solve or work through some of the issues with the final exam review. And so we'll start off, and I'm going to probably work on just this first page for the first video. So we have on the very first question, it says use quadratic formula. So up at the top here I'm going to write that one down. Quadratic formula is a formula used to find the roots of a quadratic equation. And both roots can be found by using minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And using this equation, it's in quadratic form where everything is moved over to one side. So the a value is 7, the b value is negative 36, and the c value is negative 36. So we would put this basically in the quadratic formula, minus b plus or minus, and here I'm going to take negative 36. I'm going to square that. The a value is 7 and the c value is negative 36. And for this I would need a calculator. Now on the final, we won't give you a problem that would need a calculator to compute these values. That would be all over all over 2a. So the a value is 7. And I'm just going to pause the video so I can use a calculator to compute what the answer would be. Okay, so I computed the information under the radical, and it came out to be 48. And so when you add 48 and subtract 48 from 36 and divide that by 14, you get two answers. So we have 84 over 14 when we add them, and when we subtract them, we get negative 12 over 14. And when you simplify those fractions, you get 6 and negative 6 over 7. And that would be choice D. On the next problem, it's also another quadratic formula. And what you want to make sure is that you put it in quadratic form. So you want to make sure it's every term is moved over to one side, so you can use quadratic formula. And now when the formula is written like this, you can apply the same quadratic formula that we used in the problem before to compute the roots. So I'm going to just erase this area and rework the problem. So I'm going to pause while I do that, and I'll show you the results in a second. Okay, well, I plugged in the values, and remember, in the equation, the a value was 5, the b value was negative 7, and the c value was negative 1. So when we plug that in, you have minus b, which is going to be negative 7, negative 7, which will make positive 7. Then you take the b value and square it, and then under the radical also you have minus 4a times c, and the end result is 7 plus or minus the square root of 69 all over 10, and that would be choice B. So that's your answer for that one. And now we move along to problem 3. Notice it's a function within a function. This is called a composition. So G circle F means that you're going to plug in the F function into the G function. So what that means is wherever you see, well, I'm just going to write out what G of X would be. I'll just use this space down here. So G of X is equal to 2x minus 4. And when I plug f of x inside, wherever I see an x, I'm going to put the quadratic equation here, or function here, in for x. So I have 2 times 4x squared plus 2x plus 6. And as a result, I got to subtract 4 also. So then my final answer will be 2 times well, actually I'll distribute the 2. I'll have 8x squared plus 4x plus 12 minus 4, and my final answer is going to be 8x squared plus 4x plus 8. So hopefully I have an answer like that, and that looks like that would be answer D. So far we have D, B, and D for our answers. So let me pause it, and I'll start up on the next problem in a second. On the next problem, number 5, it says, what's the domain of f plus g? So it wants to know what the domain of f plus g would be. Remember, when you combine domains, it's the least domain of both. So on the f function, which is this one, and this is the g function here, which I'll do in red. Okay, the domain is going to be all values from here to here, because that's where both functions exist. So the domain on f plus g is going to be x such that x, well, let me do an interval notation. I'll say it's going to be from, because the answers are in interval notation, from -1 to 3. That's where our domain would be for that function. So that's choice, that would be choice A. So I'm going to write down choice A, and I just did number 5, and I totally skipped number 4. So number 4, let me just take a look at that problem. It says find f of g of -6. So this is where, for number 4, f of g of -6 means first plug in -6 for g of x. So let's do that. So I look at g of x, and I've got 9 times -6 squared minus 7 times -6 minus 4, and that will give me an answer of 9 times 36 plus 42 minus 4, and that would be, well, 9 times 30 is 270 plus 54, that's going to be 324 plus 42 minus 4, so I've got 362. So now I'm plugging in 362 into f of x. So 362, so f of 362 is equal to 2 times 362 minus 6. So that'll be 724 minus 6, and that will be 718, and the answer is D. So I hope that helped. Now I'm going to just pause the video while okay, now number 8 says to find the inverse of the relation, or find the equation of the inverse relation. Well, that's just simply switching x and y. So here's a nice easy one, where you just switch your x with your y, and that would be the inverse of the relation, so that would be choice C. And then in this one, find the formula for the inverse of f of x. Well, if f of x equals 5x minus 8, then you just rewrite it as y equals 5x minus 8. You switch x and y, and now you solve for y. And that would now be the inverse function. Notice the difference here is you're solving for y when you want to find the inverse of the function, the formula for the inverse. So that would be f, the inverse, is equal to x plus 8 over 5. That's what that equation is telling us, and that would be choice B. Okay, well, I'm going to clean up, and I'm going to clean up the page, and I'm going to now work on the next page in the next video. So hopefully page 1 was of help to you, and now I'll work on page 2 in the next video. So tune in for that if you need help on the second page of questions.